afternoon, actually. Question number 4, Todd Muller.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister for Social Development. What recent announcements has she made on the whole-of-government gang action plan?
The Honourable Anne Tolley.
Mr Speaker, today I announced 2 new community pilots that will support the partners and children of gang members to lead successful lives and help steer young people away from gang life. As part of the Gang Action Plan, these pilots will see MSD partner with local social service providers to work with gang-connected families and deliver wraparound intensive support services, as well as education, employment and mentoring opportunities. The pilots will also work with gang members who want to leave the gang lifestyle. Total funding for the 2 trials is $1.1 million over 2.5 years, with more initiatives in other regions to follow soon.
Supplementary.
Supplementary question, Todd Muller.
Supplementary. Why is the government focused on working with gang members and their families?
The Honourable Anne Tolley.
Mr Speaker, a report by the Ministry of Social Development released today estimates gang members and their children cost the taxpayer $714 million through their contact with MSD and SIF. The report shows 9 out of 10 gang members have received welfare assistance, costing the taxpayer $525 million. Additionally, over 1/4 of the allegedly abused or neglected children and 60% of their children have been a victim. Gang life ruins families, and the social cost through domestic violence and child abuse is unacceptable. The new Gang Intelligence Centre involving police, MSD and other government agencies will give us more detailed information to help address these issues.
Supplementary question, Derek Ball.
Why has it taken 2 years to initiate 2 pilot programs which do nothing but subsidise current criminal behaviour and do not address the real problem, which is the existence of the gangs themselves?
The Honourable Anne Tolley.
Well, Mr Speaker, if there was an easy fix to the issue, it would have been resolved years ago. This is not an easy fix. It is a very complex area, and because we are seeing the gangs work together, government is now working together, and these trials are working on the ground with gang families, actually who are willing to change, because that's the first step to get through, where you have families that do want better outcomes for their children. Secondly, to establish providers who are willing to do the work, and that has taken some time to do. This is not going to be, you cannot change overnight what has taken generations to produce.
Supplementary question, Derek Ball.
Will the government continue to support criminal gangs by using taxpayer funding to pay for the state houses in which many of these gang members live, or will she support New Zealand First's call to ban gang members from living in our community state houses?
The Honourable Anne Tolley.
Well, Mr Speaker, unfortunately, gang families, by very nature, have women and children who are often at the mercy of the gang members. And so it is important that we put supports around them. So yes, the welfare stats are there to show just how many of these gang members are actually reliant on the taxpayer for funding their lifestyles, while at the same time they're making extraordinary amounts of money through their networks producing methamphetamine. So a whole-of-government action plan that combines work from both my colleague, the Minister of Police and Corrections, and also the social support for their families, is important to address long-term the issues of the harm that gangs do.
Order. 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 Could Derek Ball please either stop interjecting, or the next time I'll be asking him to leave. Question number 5.